Hey everyone, and welcome to June. Once again, this is just a life update. I started recording these because not only I wanted my son, who's turning 6 months in a few weeks, to be able to watch these back, but also to share the exact sort of day-to-day things that I'm up to and how business is going, how personal life is going, because everything on Amazon, the Conquer Amazon Academy, sort of YouTube is very Amazon based, but there is a lot of other things going on in my life. So yeah, this is June. I think last time we were speaking about moving potentially at the end of August and going out and spending some time in Europe. Flights are all locked in. We fly over 20th of August to Georgia, so I can't wait to be shooting some content and sharing with you guys some content over in Georgia. But yeah, so that's all planned. We're gonna spend 10 nights there in Georgia, and then we're gonna duck over, catch the end of the European summer and spend some time between Albania and Greece. Why Albania? I guess we went through Albania many years ago, and we went through a place called, it was Lake Skoda, and we didn't know that's where you actually started to do the hiking. I thought you could hike around there, so it was a bit of a misplanned venture through there, and we didn't really enjoy the town that much, but we've heard so many good things about the coastline, Hamare, Samil, so we're actually flying from Georgia to Corfu, which is a Greek island opposite Albania. We're going to spend some time in Corfu, check out Corfu, and then we're going to catch a ferry over and spend, almost for 3 to 4 weeks in the Albanian coastline before finishing in Tirana, the capital, and then, ducking over from there back to one of the Greek islands, one of the more popular Greek islands, to catch the end of that Mediterranean sort of summer. That'll be end of September, October time. So we have a loose plan now. We've got some accommodation booked that we can kind of change dates if needed, but we have almost end of August all the way through to middle of October, where we'll probably end up trying to go back and end up in Georgia to catch the end of the wine harvesting season, which sounds pretty delicious as well. So yeah, I think last time I shot the video was May, and I talked about that we had planned this, maybe even booked the flights, but now we have a little bit more of an itinerary, and I do like to travel spontaneously. However, because we run online businesses, it's not that easy. Well, it is. That's one of the benefits of traveling when having an online business, is you can travel whenever you want. However, it takes a toll and it's very taxing on your energy if you're jumping around and having to find accommodation everywhere you go. So we did this previously about 3 years ago. We traveled Europe for 6 months, and we were kind of living week by week. So okay, let's catch a plane here, or let's get an Airbnb there. So you're always constantly trying to find the next best place, and you're trying to fit all the activities in, and it can be draining, and the business can definitely be affected by that. So this time round, obviously having a little 6-month-old boy, he will be 9 months by then, probably crawling most likely. That's going to be a little bit more energy as well, taking out of the system. So we've kind of planned it that from Corfu to Albania back to another Greek island, we've only got to catch one flight. The rest is ferries or our taxis or smaller trips, and we're spending extended periods in each place. So, 7 to 8 days for majority of those trips, with a couple of 3-night stays here and there. But majority of the time it's going to be longer stays. And we're doing this because that means we can settle in a place, explore it and do activities, every day, but then also be able to manage the workload of our online businesses. So with Amazon, it's pretty easy to keep those products maintaining. With the Conquer Amazon Academy, where we're educating, we have live trainings, we're constantly meeting new people, we're giving value and actually trying to get new students into the academy. So it does take time, and that requires energy as well. So this trip around is being planned a little bit more, there's a little bit more structure, but the structure has the ability to be changed. So we've booked a lot of accommodation in advance, but it's not, it can be changed and you don't have to pay till you arrive. So there's the last date to change it is only maybe a few days before we arrive there, which gives a little bit more flexibility in case we like a location or don't like a location. We can kind of change what we're doing. So that's sort of the update of what I'm doing when it comes to personal. And then on the side, business is growing. We've had a pretty really, I guess, great month together where Eric, my brother-in-law, has actually come back to Australia for a period of time, so we could actually work, all three of us. Veronica just finished maternity leave last month. Eric's come back from Bali. So now we're sort of come together and working everything out of how we position our educational service and how we position our brand on Amazon and where it is as a global brand. So yeah, it's been good to have the whole team together. Some things we're looking into is bringing brands on. I think we discussed that maybe in the last video, and that's something I want to focus on in the future, working with brands that are out there that are already selling, online or, in real life, and then taking them onto Amazon. I think that is the next progression of our business. We've been helping new students and beginners launch their first product for 3 or 4 years now. Now we want to start working with existing people that already have brands and take them on, not only to Australia, but we can also hopefully take them internationally as well. And we pitched that to someone recently. We'd already helped them in Australia, and now we're pitching to them to take them into Canada first, followed by the US. So yeah, busy times, good having everyone together, good having sort of set plans. I love booking flights and booking future, not holidays, future adventures. I think it's very rewarding. You can get very excited. So in my free time, like rather than, scrolling Instagram, I'm looking at cool places to go visit and starting to make like some sort of ideas of some plans that we'd like to go do and to see. And like, for example, we really want to go see the Bucharest Christmas markets in Romania. I want to take Veronica to Copenhagen. So looking at the different scenarios of how we can do this, and being based in Georgia, we'll actually be able to fly to some of these places dirt cheap. So obviously when you're in Australia, you're very isolated to how far you can go and how long it is to travel. And with a small child, that's something that I definitely consider. But being in Georgia, we like the idea that, I looked at flights the other day to fly to Paris, return for a 7-night trip. It was like 250 AUD return per person. To go to Rome, it was like $300 per person. To fly to some cooler, different places like Latvia, Riga, like, $200 or $300 again, return flights. Where I just booked flights to Adelaide from Gold Coast, and it was like $350 return. So the idea of being so close to Europe and actually being able to get that European culture and mixing up between country and country really excites me for the future of our travels. And this has been the longest we've stayed in a country for a long time. So we've been here almost, we're coming up 9 months now, and we'll be here for a whole year. So that's the longest we've actually stayed put in a country for the last 3 or 4 years. So, mixing it up really excites me, and I can't wait to explore. We've done all the main European countries. So now I'm really interested in seeing those smaller ones, the smaller cities, and seeing that less known places like, Romania, Bulgaria. We've been to them, but I want to go check them out. Albania, Georgia, these are lesser known places, and, spending some time seeing the culture and really breathing in what it's like, because a lot of countries and capital cities are changing. So, everyone's becoming a more sort of inclusive of everyone else's, and what I'm seeing around the world is people are starting to lose their identity. Look at the UK, for example. People are losing their identity. So I really want to cash in and see these countries while they've still got their full-blown identity, and explore them with my wife and my son. So yeah, that's a little bit of an update for this month. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos, seeing the person behind the brand, the person behind Conquer Amazon Academy, the person behind Prodigy X, of who I am and what I do in my spare time. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.